We are about to get ready to show you all the best moves. You can spring into action as long as you don't listen to all those hecklers. We will bring you all the shots from way outside and those that crash the net. So fade away and sink those difficult shots as Joe tries out his new mustache on for size. Hola, senor. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
I'm Howie Shapiro. That mustache suits you well, but we certainly hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope you did, my friend, as well.
I did, and this is our final show for 2017. We'll take a short break because a lot of the teams get a break. Not as much action this week as there is typically, but those contests that will be are very big ones for a lot of these teams.
It's some exciting action coming your way real quickly.
Well, and we will be very busy this week. But,
we will. Busy week.
That's with just one team, so we'll get to that in just a moment. We start with the boys hockey team. They'll be in River Falls this week to face a couple of teams from the other side of the border, and they're trying to end a long losing streak. Last week, just one game for the Cardinals when they welcomed the Simley Spartans to the Ice Center. Spartans were 4-2, but hadn't faced the same level of competition, so the Cards were hoping a little non-conference action might help them get things back on track. Spartans come out on the attack. Evan Schultz flying down the wing. The wrist shot just sneaks through the pads on Danny Protas and trickles in. Simley takes a lead a little less than 6 minutes into the game. Cardinals evened it up late in the period. Tommy Carl's creating out of the corner. Gets it to Duncan McKenna for the one-timer. Top shelf. Game is tied at a goal apiece. But that only lasts 45 seconds. Shot from the point. Protas makes the save. The Spartans crash for the rebound. Able to get it home before the net comes loose. Simley goes to the first break up 2-1. Scored two more early in the second. We're up 4-1 before the Cardinals start to come back on the power play. McKenna to Carl's backdoor for the one-timer. That makes it a 2-goal deficit. Then just a minute later, Carl's with speed out of the zone, takes a hard hit, draws the penalty, but Jake Van Hulsen picks up the loose puck, cuts back across, cuts the lead to 4-3. Then just seconds later, it's Carl's again, this time putting the wrist shot just inside the far post. We're back to even 4-4 going to the third period. Unfortunately, it's all Simley in the final frame. Connor Carlson's goal, 3:30 in, put them back in front for good. Spartans outshoot the Cardinals 20-7 in the third, scoring 4 times on their way to an 8-4 win.
It was a tough loss. I mean, they had gained all that momentum back after the second period, and they came out a little flat in that third period. And give Simley credit. They really poured it on and scored those 4 goals and put the game out of reach.
Well, and they did it by just continually peppering the net. 20 shots on goal in one period is a lot.
Yeah.
They chased Danny Protas out of net halfway through. His first varsity start, he doesn't quite make it to the end. But that did not stop the barrage. It was 6-4 at that point. They brought in Argeros. Argeros gave up a couple of goals, but none that it's the constant pressure that they were able to create, and Coon Rapids just couldn't get the momentum swung back in their favor, and that's unfortunate because they scored those 3 goals in just right about a minute and a half of they went from 4-1 to 4-4. Things looked really good, but unfortunately the wheels come off in the third.
It's all about consistency, and they did not have a very consistent third period, and again, they fell behind quickly, and Simley continued to apply a lot of pressure, and the Cardinals really didn't have an answer after that.
Well, and the Cardinals this week, a couple of games against unfamiliar opponents. They go to River Falls, they play Somerset on Friday, and then the host River Falls squad on Saturday. So, an opportunity hopefully to get some things worked out, get a little bit of momentum coming back, because once they get into the new year, you're going to get back into conference play. And
right.
Second time through, when they see those teams like Irondale and Spring Lake Park, they want to have a much better showing than they did the first time around. Whether they win or not is not as important as playing much better than they did the first time they saw those teams.
Oh, they have a game plan going in the second time as well.
Well, the girls hockey team, a couple of games last week, they got a little bit of revenge on their former teammates from Spring Lake Park. The Panthers won the first meeting between the two teams 2-1. This time, the Bluebirds shut them out 2-0. Delaney Johnson had both goals for the Cardinals. The Bluebirds, rather. Baker, Sutherland, Brazier, and Peterson all had assists. Bailey Shuck had 20 saves to record her third shutout of the season. Then they went up against Wyzetta, former Cardinal alum and former coach Jess Christopherson has a pretty good squad there with Wayzata, but not too bad. A 2-0 loss. Look at the shots on goal, 54-11. Bailey Shuck was busy. She made 52 saves and gave up just 2 goals in the loss. Big week for the girls hockey team. They host the Cardinal Cup, and I think they would have rather the warmer weather we had last week stuck around just a little bit longer because it's an outdoor tournament. It's going to be very cold.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit chilly, no doubt about it. And I think that going into this game, we'll see what the weather brings. Tomorrow we're doing the game Simley and St. Cloud.
Yep.
We'll see if it's cold enough for them to try and maybe move that game inside. We'll see. And I don't even know if they have ice time inside.
I'm not sure what the contingency plan is, but it should be above 0, which is the barometer for whether they will allow you to play outside. But we will be at the St. Cloud versus Simley game on Wednesday, so we'll get an opportunity to see both squads before the Bluebirds do. But the Bluebirds will face the Spartans on Thursday and the St. Cloud team on Friday, and we will be there for both of those games. 3 straight nights of girls hockey here on CTN. On the
it's going to be a lot of fun.
On the CTN outdoor rink.
Should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Well, the wrestling team heads to Fargo this weekend for one of the biggest tournaments in the country, the Rumble on the Red. And the Cardinals will have plenty of motivation after losing to section rival St. Francis last Friday. The Saints are ranked 10th in the state, but the Cardinals finished better than them at the Board Highland Duels. And they're hoping they can pull off a big upset before their holiday break. Cardinals knew they would need a fast start due to the Saints' strength in the upper weights, and the little guys get them exactly what they needed. 106-pounder Alex Kovalchuk gets Bo Flagstead of St. Francis in the double armbar, gets him rolled over. Middle of the mat, this one's over in just 66 seconds. Logan Rocine must have liked that strategy because he does the exact same thing to Brady Peltier at 113. Rocine gets the pin at 141. Cards start with back-to-back mat slaps. They jumped to a 15-0 lead, won 6 of the first 8 matches. Moses Madimba controls his battle with Andrew Hoagland at 152. This takedown secures the 22-7 tech fall. Unfortunately for the Cardinals, the start wasn't strong enough. The Saints have 3 top wrestlers in their upper weights. They're able to win the last 6 matches, including 3 straight pins. Cole Kerprak puts Amara Kane to his back early in the third at 170. And Joey Lipinski follows with a pin of James Super at 15 seconds in the second period of the 182-pound match. And then St. Francis' Nick Gerlach goes chest to chest with squirming Nick Berg at 195, getting the pin in 3:35. That puts the Saints up 32-26. They add a couple of decisions at 220 and heavyweight to win that match by a score of 38-26.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you have that much skill and strength at the top. It used to be years ago when they decided at the beginning where they would start. Then, there was a little more strategy involved. Now, from, before you get started, if you have the strong upper weights, you can come back from an early deficit. But if you have those strong lower weights, you're facing a team like that, you have to get as big a lead as possible early on, and they did a pretty good job of that.
They did.
The unfortunate part for the Cardinals is the couple of wins in the lower weights that St. Francis had were a pin and a tech fall. So 11 points. If those are only 3-point victories instead of and they only get 6 points out of those 2 wins instead of 11. It might be different coming down to the end. But either way, credit to St. Francis. They win the last 6 weight classes. They're going to be a tough team to beat all year through.
They will.
And especially come section time. And, of course, everybody gunning for Anoka, who is the defending section champion and currently ranked number 2 in the state.
Actually, they're ranked number 1. I believe they moved up.
They bumped Apple Valley.
I believe they moved up. I
believe
I saw that in the paper this weekend. So.
Well, there you go. Either way, everybody's gunning for Anoka, and Anoka is taking on all challengers. Huge tournament this weekend in Fargo. The Rumble on the Red features 80 different teams. Just looking for a number of those guys to go in and have good showings. Hopefully get a couple of guys coming back with places. If a couple of them can make podium or even championship bouts, that would be great. Then they return to conference action at Champlain Park next Thursday. Gymnastics team, the Luau Invited Champlain Park, was held back on the 16th. They did not have the scores for us until after last week's show, but a good showing for the Cardinals. They finished in 6th place with a 123.9. Your top finishers, Cassie Rushmeyer on vault. Hannah Gross was the top Cardinal on bars and beam. Rachel Dieters was right behind her on the beam, just a 1/10 of a point difference. Cassie Rushmeyer also led the team on the floor. Hannah Gross was their top finisher all around, taking 12th place with a 31.55. The team that finished just ahead of the Cardinals at the Luau just happened to be their next opponent, the Park Center Pirates. Cardinals hit the road on Thursday knowing there was just 3 points separating their team scores in that tournament. They were confident they could outduel the Pirates when it came down to a one-on-one match. Cardinals looking for everybody to up their game just a little bit, and Captain Hannah Gross shows the way. She adds a 1/10 of a point to her vault score, taking 4th in 8.15. 8th grader Cassie Rushmeyer follows suit. Her vault best of the night for the Cardinals, scoring an 8.3. Again, a little better than her score at the Luau. Kamika Hurdle shows a huge improvement on the bars. She finishes 3rd behind Gross, but scores a 7.65. Great jump from the 7th flat she had in Champlain Park. Gross again on the beam. Her score is down a bit from the week before, but leads the way in the meet for the event, scoring an 8.175 for that routine to take 1st. Aaliyah Vu, another Cardinal, soaring higher against the Pirates. She was 4th on the team on the floor at the Luau, but she leads the way against Park Center, improving her score by nearly a 1/2 point. Finishes 3rd with an 8.25. Their team improves to a 125.1, enough to get them the win over Park Center. Cardinals score improved by 1.2 points from the Luau, while the Pirates score went down by more than 4 points to a 122.05.
Nice to get that win. They're moving towards that 130 mark, and I know that's what they're trying to do. And again, you saw continued improvement in their routines, and I think that's what you're looking for.
Absolutely, and seeing everybody putting, if it's a 5/100ths of a point, if it's a 1/10 of a point, whatever it is, if you continue to improve, by the end of the year, you'll be at that 130, which is their goal. Another winnable meet on the horizon for the Cardinals, but they have a good, solid holiday break here. They're not back in action until Thursday, the 11th of January, when they take on the Osseo Orioles. And then the following week, they'll be at Champlain Park. Swimming and diving team. Couple of meets last week. First up was the Osseo Orioles, and the Cardinals squeak one out, winning 93-91. A first-place finish for the 200 medley relay. A second-place finish in the 200 IM for Andrew Trong. Patrick Schultz finished 1st in the 50 free. Tyler Schultz 1st in the 100 butterfly. 200 free relay also grabbed 1st place, as did Tyler Schultz in the 100 breast with a time of 1:06.22.
Well, the Cardinals were right back at the pool Thursday evening, looking to score a 2nd straight win, and knowing they were facing a slightly weaker opponent. The St. Anthony Village team is a brand new team, and the Cardinals wanted to make sure they took advantage of this opportunity, especially going into the holiday weekend. They left nothing to chance, cruising to a convincing win. Just a couple of highlights to show you, starting with senior Marcos Carrasco setting the pace at the 200 freestyle. He's going to get the win in 2:11.16. The Cards also take 3rd and 4th and lead in 19:11 after 2 events. We're going to jump ahead to Joe's favorite, the 50 free. 2 of the youngest Cardinals battling all the way to the wall. Freshman Matt Struess just out, touching 8th grader Tyler Schultz. Senior Patrick Schultz takes 3rd as the Cardinals sweep the podium and increase their lead. Well, St. Anthony doesn't have any divers, but still, it's a great showing for freshman Jack Simmer. We talked about that. His double somersault, part of a score of 192. The Cardinals swim exhibition in the final 3 events as they win by a score convincingly, 93-71. Nice couple of wins back-to-back for the Cardinals swim squad.
Yeah, and always great to see him getting to the point where the last 3 events were exhibition. When you see a team that is, a little bit down, you want to make sure you take full advantage. We talked about that with the girls hockey team a couple weeks ago. They had a part of their schedule where they were facing some weaker opponents, and they needed to be dominant, and they were. And that's exactly what the Cardinals were able to do against the St. Anthony Village squad. Now things get tough again for the Cardinals upcoming. They are taking on Spring Lake Park on Thursday the 4th. Then on Saturday the 6th, they're at the Maroon and Gold Invite over at the University of Minnesota. Nordic ski team. Yay, snow!
Woo-hoo, snow and cold.
They could probably do without the bitter cold, but they did get some snow, and they got their first Northwest Suburban Conference race in. A skate race last Thursday, and the boys finished third place with a 4:38.5. Jared Haida was in 7th, Ricky Petroff in 8th, Paul Breitbach in 10th, Mitch Zandarowski in 15th, Nick Jorgensen in 29th. Good to see because you're getting a contribution from all age groups, but seeing those younger guys at the top of the leaderboard is very good news for the team. For the girls, they finished in 2nd place, which is maybe a little bit of a surprise. They expected the boys to have a little bit stronger squad against the Northwest Suburban Conference opponents, but remember, only about half of the conference is there, so that can also be a little bit tricky. But again, 2 top 10 finishes. Abby Ellenbecker first in 2nd place at 15:55, then Olivia in 9th place in 16:35. Maddie Karen finished 19th. Izzy Haberman was 20th, and Lila Gilliard finished in 22nd place in 18:55. Then they went to Mora on Thursday for the Mora Sprints, and this was just an all-out, first one gets there, gets it, not timed, is all based on a straight 1.1 kilometer oval, go. Jared Haida finished in 9th place. Mitch Zandarowski, 11th. Ricky Petroff in 19th. There were about 4 people tied for, I think, 12th place, and then a couple more for 19th. So a lot of ties in there. Gilliard finished 46th, and Jorgensen finished in 55th. On the girls' side, they finished in 6th place. Olivia and Abby, again, both top 10 finishers in 3rd and 7th places, respectively. Karen was in 38th, Gilliard in 44th, and Haberman right behind her in 45th. Now, another long break for the Nordic team, and I just have to double check because I didn't put it all on the script. The next Wednesday, they are at Highland for a Northwest Suburban Conference event, and then on Saturday the 6th, they will be at the Mesabi Invite, which is one of, again, the largest tournaments in the country for high school Nordic racing. So
always good competition there.
A lot of huge events coming up for Cardinal teams here in the very near future. Alpine ski team got its first race in last Tuesday over at Trollhagen. Boys finished in 8th place. Reed Smith, the top finisher, in 27th. Hawkinson not far behind in 31st with a 1:16.08. Nico Tweedy finished 49th. Smith in 53rd. And Specht in 62nd. The girls finished in 7th place. Emma Bolin finished best for the Cardinals, 43rd place in 1:21.63. They have a couple of exchange students. I'm gonna try my best not to blow the name. Edgerskov finished in 49th for Beek. That one
That's an easy one.
That one I can get through,
yep.
Especially since there's a very famous hockey player with that name. 51st place, Eckert was in 62nd, and Jenkins finished in 64th. Upcoming for them, they have their next race at Wild Mountain next Thursday. Then race 3 is on Thursday the 11th back at Trollhagen. So they've got all of this week off. A lot of teams getting this week off.
Well, yeah, I would imagine so with being break and all, and there are obviously some holiday tournaments, but there are teams that don't participate in those kind of tournaments, so they get the week off.
And that's great. I think it's a good time for to get a little bit of breather, step back a little bit, focus on technique, get a little more practice time in.
That's what we're going to do because we'll be off a week, so we're going to do that as well.
Yeah, we're going to do a lot of practicing.
Yep, get our timing down correctly. do some calisthenics.
Boy, does it need work.
Well, that's very
boys,
true.
Moving right along. Boys basketball team, a tough opponent to start last week. They went to Champlin Park, or they hosted Champlin Park, rather. The girls went to Champlin Park. They hosted the Rebels, and the Rebels kind of ran roughshod over them.
They did.
84-48. Marshall Holland, great game for him. 20 points, picked up 4 boards as well. Marcel Winston into double digits with 10 points. Elijah McGrath had 9, and Shai Sayers had 5. But that is not really. I mean, granted, Champlin Park's a very good team, but you never want to lose by that kind of score.
No, you want to make it a little bit closer, and you want to score more than 48 points if you can as well.
If you can, but not getting beat by 36.
This is correct.
This
is correct.
Is typically
not
the
a
goal.
good game plan.
The Cardinals were understandably a little bit disappointed with that showing against Champlin Park, and were looking to bounce back their next time on the court. On Thursday, they took the short trip to Blaine to face their arch-rival Bengals. Blaine was riding high on a 3-game win streak, and the Cardinals knew they would need to be on top of their game if they were to end both their streak and the Bengals. Tight game early on. Sean Smith, a drive to the baseline, draws the defense, dishes to Zach Hussein. He gets to the paint, finds enough room to hit the short jumper. Cardinals in front, but certainly not flying away. Bengals attacking down low. Great block by Marshall Holland right there, but Ray Mitchell has a rebound, cleans up the glass. Still Coon Rapids leads by 9. Late in the half, Cardinals push down court, then kick back, and Marcel Winston, he's not worried about that range. He hits the long three-pointer, and he's a little fired up about it. Cardinals go to the locker room up by 10. Early in the second, Smith directing the offense. He'll take this one himself. Great move to get to the baseline, get the basket. Smith, one of 4 Cardinals in double digits. Bengals chipping away at the lead through the second. Nice look for Devin Nebo, finding Jason Call down low for the basket. Blaine back within 3. But the Cardinals get stronger down the stretch, getting everyone involved. Braden Farley, nice pump fake to find room, knocks down the three-pointer from the corner. All of his 15 points came from beyond the arc. That put the Cardinals back up by 7, and they keep pushing. Shai Sayers takes it to the hole, gets the bucket and the foul. Coon Rapids able to hold on down the stretch, score a huge 76-71 win against a conference opponent, and of course, a very, very intense rival.
Always nice to get that road win, and you like the fact that their game is improving from the perimeter. You would like to see a little more inside game against a team like Champlin Park, who's probably got a little more size than Coon Rapids. It's a little tougher, but you get a team like Blaine, who's similar to what Coon Rapids does. They like to shoot the ball from outside the arc, and Cardinals impressive there. You saw with Farley with 15 from beyond the arc, and it's nice to see that, and especially a win on the road.
Yeah, absolutely, and getting more guys involved. Coming into the season, you really had the one returner in Marcel Winston from that team that did so many great things last year, and you knew that he was going to be a big part of their offense. But in order to find success, they needed to find complementary pieces and other players to carry the loads at times that he might be struggling. And so far, a lot of different guys putting their hand up on different nights and saying, it's my turn to lead the way, and that's fantastic.
It's what you want.
Well, the Cardinals have one game this week. They will host Simley on Thursday. Then they're off until next Friday when Elk River comes to the field house. Girls basketball did get a visit from Champlin Park on Tuesday last week, and a little bit closer than the boys' score, but still pretty much an easy win for the Rebels, 61-42 the final in that one. No Cardinals able to get into double digits. Ellie Carver leading the way with 9 points. Brooklyn Dixon chipped in 7. Lainey Hanneman had 6. Artis and Hetwer each had 5.
Well, obviously they had another opportunity to take on the team from Blaine. They were also hoping for a battle with the Bengals would help them get some things straightened out before the holiday weekend. The teams had nearly identical records, had very similar results against like opponents. Even with a couple of starters gone for vacation and a couple others out or just recovering from illness, the Cardinals felt it was a Blaine team they could beat. Cardinals looking for a fast start. Brooklyn Dixon on the run, gets it to Lainey Hanneman. She hits the 15-foot jump shot. Well, the game was a little sloppy, with both teams making a lot of turnovers, but Blaine able to get into the lead thanks to a couple of three-pointers, was helped them jump to the early lead. Well, they were up 19-15 at the half, and they start to pull away in the second. Phoebe Carson hits another three-pointer to put the Bengals up by 8. Cardinals trying to cut into the lead, but another turnover gives Emily Bauer that breakaway. She lays in easily. Blaine builds the lead to 34-25. Cardinals down but not out. They get a surge late in the second. Destiny Artis able to find some room, hits that jumper off the glass. Coon Rapids gets back within 3, then a nice little give and go. Kylie Hetwer to Brooklyn Dixon, back to Hetwer. She hits the open 3, ties the game at 34. Hetwer finished with 8. Blaine also hit 3 of 4 from free throw line to get the lead late in the game. Cardinals not going for the 3. Instead, Artis able to get to the baseline, makes a 1-point game with just seconds remaining. Blaine not able to seal the deal from the line. Post gets the rebound to Artis. She heaves up the prayer from midcourt. It's off the front rim, and the Bengals hold on for a 37-36 win. And you know, we talked about sloppy basketball game. Could have been anybody's game down the stretch. Blaine just able to pull away with that 1-point win, 37-36. Not a lot of points. Not the prettiest basketball game that you're going to see.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, but Bengals get the win.
It's quite possible that we saw more turnovers in the first half than we saw points.
Yeah.
Neither coach could be happy with the way that their teams played. I think the positive that Coon Rapids could take away from this is the depth that came through, especially the 2 freshmen that played a lot of minutes. Not only did you have a couple of players gone on vacation, you had some more that were sick.
Yep.
But then you had Lainey Hanneman in foul trouble, and Nicole Post. You know, she only had 2 points. Both came from the free throw line, but she did a really nice job on the boards. She's a big, long wingspan, and it was really fun when she was on the floor with Lainey Hanneman and Ellie Carver, and they played the 3-2, and I'm telling you, those 3 girls stand in a row and stretch their arms out, and they come pretty close to going from sideline to sideline.
Yes.
And they cover a lot of territory. So that could be fun to see if Post gets a little more action as we get deeper into the season. You know, and I think Hetwer certainly has earned a little bit more time and a little bit more respect as far as the way she has played as a freshman coming in, got the start against Blaine. The downside, of course, is that it was a winnable game, and the Cardinals weren't able to do what they needed to do in order to get the victory that they need so badly.
You want to come away with the win, but I think that the fact that a couple players gone allowed a couple of younger players, as you talked about, to step up. And when they do so, they get a little more confidence in their coach, and they're able to pull them off the bench and contribute a little bit more. You know, Hetwer and Post. Coach Peterson talked about Post before the game, how exciting it's going to be to see her because she's going to get an opportunity to play a little bit more. And she showed us that she has a good future with the program, as does Hetwer.
Yep. Well, the Cardinals just one game this week. They're at Alexandria for a Battle of the Cardinals on Wednesday, and then they have a little bit more than a week off. They're at Elk River next Thursday. But, you know, again, a lot of teams that are getting a little bit of a breather now or have a lighter week here. A couple of teams like the wrestling squad going up north for one of their biggest events of the year. So it should be very exciting.
It's going to be a lot of exciting times, and there's a lot of good holiday tournaments coming up this week as well.
Yeah, and we will be at the girls' hockey holiday tournament. We're doing Cardinal Cup coverage all week long. Woo-hoo! Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, live at 7:15 each and every night. We're going to stay toasty warm inside, watching through the glass.
We're spoiled. It's in our contract. We just signed an extension.
But yeah, we'll have St. Cloud against Simley on Wednesday night, then Coon Rapids, Champlain Park against Simley on Thursday, and Champlain Park, Coon Rapids against St. Cloud on Friday. So that should be a lot of fun. But because of the break, we will also take a little break from Sportsnight. We will not have a show next week, and we will return on Monday the 8th.
And we want to make sure we wish everyone a Happy New Year, happy, healthy, safe New Year's as well.
Absolutely. We'll see you on the other side after the calendar flips. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us, continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.